Hello, right, there you go, first slide. Thank you, thank you. That's the virtual me, that's Jimi Hendrix. I'm more on fire than Jimi Hendrix. There you go, can't do that in the real world. That's one of the things that this represents. The other thing, the title, Burning of the Midnight Lamp, all our fans are American, so we have to play all of our gigs at midnight or thereabouts. That's not running, is it? But okay, first glimpse of Second Life for those who don't know. This is a typical welcome area. It's very full. As a result, it's very slow. Lots of grey bits where people haven't resolved yet. That puts a lot of people off and they run a mile. Persist with it. There are gems to be found. Okay, that's our singer. That's the virtual singer. That's our band. This is our virtual band. Obviously, he's playing a keyboard there, not a double bass. But this was unusual when we did it because most SL performers were solo acts or DJs. There weren't really any bands in there. There's a few now. So, okay, making stuff in Second Life. We make all our own stuff. Simple cube, map some photos on. We've got a bass rig. Some of you might recognise that Selma cab now. The violin's a bit more complicated. That's made of 40 primitive shapes. The cab is obviously just a cuboid, so much simpler. Animating's a similar kind of experience. You have to use third-party bits of software. You can use Poser. That's Avimator, which is a sort of open source version. You can't take your objects in, so you sometimes get your violin going into your face, which is a shame, so it's a kind of backwards and forwards. Okay, this was our first show of the tour I talked about a bit earlier. We decided to do a multi-show tour because certain regions of SL only support sort of 30 or 40 avatars, so you've got a limited audience size by default. So we thought, well, let's look for some nice environments and play in those. I think places we liked rather than music venues. This is Suffragium. It's an Orwellian dystopia. We really like it, cheery place. Old sim, old region, so limited audience. I'm being scanned by a police drone there to make sure I'm not against the government. This was our third show of the tour, Saijo City, great big industrial kind of cyber city. That's the back of our stage set there. So we're playing on this building, which was really fun. Lots of people couldn't find it, but that's the risk you play. And this was the last night. This is Black Sun. Anyone that read Snow Crash would know about that. I found this in Second Life and immediately thought we've got to play there. Most interesting thing was the quality of the avatars that showed up to the gig. That's a very complicated one, and this is the builder of Black Sun, who doesn't show up much. Then we decided we needed to do a festival next as a logical step from a tour. So we dragged some of our friends from the real world in. Some of you might know Bella Emerson, who's local, who played at this. And the reason it's called Scorched Earth is because it's set in a sort of Mad Max environment region. Mad Max 2 particularly. So our vocalist actually designed this as a stage set concept. Big truck, sort of rusty tyres burning kind of thing. And then we passed that over to the people who run the region, and they began to build it for us. This bald fella here goes by the name of Gutter Blood. He made the stage for us. He's obviously not quite finished texturing the cab there, but you get the general idea. That's me stood on that. And there it is finished. That's the night before the event. You might be able to see the Selma we looked at earlier in the back there. A few pedals we made, guitar pedals, things like that. So yeah, that's the finished stage set. And there's Bella Emerson, for those who know her, playing one of her sets. Everyone did 2 sets at Scorched Earth because we wanted it to run for 8 hours to cover a few time zones. So we sort of alternated the 3 acts and the DJ, and we did 2 sets each. I think you can probably get audio of that from her website. Similarly, Paranoid Foundation, friends of ours, We made all of their stuff except the guitar, Chris's guitar, because we ran out of time. We had to go and buy one, which is why it's a bit of a boring old Strat and not very exciting. But they've probably got audio as well of that set. Okay, Second Life 4th birthday. This is what happens when you don't organise your own event. The reason I'm showing you this picture, the t-shirt texture that we made for the show, was because the whole bleeding region broke down and nothing worked at all except the audio. So we've got no pictures whatsoever. But that's what happens when the Lindens deal with it for you. The next step, at the moment we have a fourth person who runs all our avatars for us. We've got a system we're testing now that completely automates that for us. It's synchronized to the music. That's our next stage set. That's a prototype for our Christmas show. So if anyone's in SL, do a search for it. It's in a venue called the Church of the Divine Engineer, which is in Nexus Prime, the same place as Black Sun, one of my favourite bits of SL. So that's happening. And this is the volcano I mentioned earlier that we're hoping to play in very soon. We're literally going to be on fire for that gig. And that's about it, I think. So, thank you very much. Just drop me a line if you have any questions. Cheers.